Walk into any Acura service center and you'll be greeted with a smile, professional technician, clean waiting rooms, coffee, and free Wi-Fi. It all feels very trustworthy. But behind those closed service bay doors, there's a whole system designed to extract as much money from you as possible. I'm not saying every Acura dealership is crooked, but I am saying that the business model incentivizes upselling, even when you don't need it. I've worked in dealership service departments for years. I've seen the sales quotas. I've heard the morning meetings where service advisors are pressured to hit upsell targets. And I've watched good people get talked into thousands of dollars in unnecessary repairs. Today, I'm exposing the newest scams that Acura service centers are running right now. These aren't the old tricks everyone knows about. These are fresh tactics that have emerged in just the last year or two. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch for, what questions to ask, and how to protect yourself from getting ripped off. Let's get started. Scam number 1, the complimentary multi-point inspection, upsell. This is the newest trick in the playbook, and it's incredibly sneaky. You bring your Acura in for a simple oil change. The service advisor says, "Great news. We include a complimentary multi-point inspection with every service." Sounds nice, right? Wrong. Here's what's really happening. That inspection is designed to find things to sell you, not to help you. The technician goes through a checklist with one goal: find anything that's not 100% perfect and mark it as needs immediate attention. Brake pads at 5 millimeters? Dangerously thin. Need replacement now. Reality. They're good for another 10,000 miles. Tires at 6/32 of an inch tread depth? Below safe levels. Replace immediately. Reality. The legal limit is 2/32 of an inch, and 6/32 of an inch is perfectly fine. Battery at 12.4 volts? Failing. Needs replacement. Reality. That's a normal resting voltage. They print out a color-coded report, usually with lots of red and yellow, to make it look urgent. Then they hit you with a $1,500 estimate for critical repair. Most of it is completely unnecessary. Here's how to protect yourself. When they show you the report, ask to see the actual components. Can you show me these dangerously worn brake pads? Get a second opinion. If they're pushing hard for immediate repairs, tell them you need to think about it. Trust your instincts. If your car has been driving fine and they suddenly claim you need $2,000 in repairs, it's probably BS. Scam number 2, the cabin air filter scam, now with visual proof. This one's been around for a while, but they've gotten more sophisticated with it. You're sitting in the waiting room, and the service advisor walks up with a disgusting, filthy air filter. "We found this in your car. See all this dirt? You're breathing this every time you turn on your AC. We strongly recommend replacing it today. Only $89.95. It looks terrible." Of course you say yes, but here's the trick. That's not your air filter. Dealerships keep a collection of absolutely disgusting filters pulled from other cars or deliberately dirtied. They show you one of those, then sell you a new one. Your actual filter might be perfectly fine. I've seen service advisors grab the same nasty filter from a drawer and show it to 5 different customers in one day. Here's how to protect yourself. Before you drop your car off, take a photo of your cabin air filter. On most Acuras, it's behind the glove box and takes 30 seconds to access. Ask them to show you where the filter came from. "Can you show me exactly where in my car you pulled this from?" Do it yourself. Cabin air filters are one of the easiest DIY jobs. Buy one online for $15 to $20 and install it in 5 minutes. If you're serious about not getting scammed and knowing exactly what your Acura needs, when I've created a complete 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint specifically for Acura owners. It tells you exactly what services you need at what mileage, so you'll never get sold something you don't need. Links in the description. Grab it now. Scam number 3, the transmission flush pressure tactic. This is a big money scam that's getting worse. You bring your Acura in for routine service. The advisor comes back and says, "We checked your transmission fluid. It's dark and contaminated. You need a complete transmission flush immediately, or you risk total transmission failure. $399. Here's the truth. Transmission flushes are controversial, and many manufacturers, including Acura, don't recommend them at all. The proper service for most Acuras is a simple drain and fill, which costs about $150 to $200. It removes about 40% of the old fluid and replaces it with fresh fluid. A flush removes all the fluid, which sounds good, but it can actually cause problems in older transmissions by dislodging debris that was acting as a seal in worn components. Here's how to protect yourself. Know your service intervals. Most Acuras need transmission fluid changed every 30,000 to 60,000 miles. If you're not at that mileage, question why they're recommending it. Ask to see the fluid. Pull the dipstick yourself. Fresh fluid is bright red. If it's just dark red, you're fine. Specify a drain and fill only. Tell them explicitly, I want a drain and fill, not a flush. Scam number 4. The brake fluid moisture test scam. This is a new one that's popped up in the last year. The service advisor says, we tested your brake fluid for moisture content. It's at 3.5%, which is above the safe limit of 3%. You need a complete brake fluid flush, $179. They might even show you a little electronic tester with a red light. Here's the scam. That tester is either rigged, uncalibrated, or they're lying about the reading. Yes, brake fluid should be changed every 3 to 5 years. But that 3% threshold they're quoting? That's arbitrary. Most brake fluid can handle 3% to 4% moisture without significant issues. It becomes a real problem above 5% or 6%. But dealerships have lowered their recommended threshold to create more service opportunities. Here's how to protect yourself. Know your service history. If you changed your brake fluid within the last 3 years, you don't need it again. Ask when the tester was last calibrated. If they can't show you calibration records, the reading is meaningless. Look at the fluid yourself. Fresh brake fluid is clear to light amber. Dark brown or black is definitely bad. Scam number 5. The fuel injection service scam. Here's one that preys on people's fear of expensive repairs. The advisor says, we recommend a fuel injection cleaning service. Your injectors are clogged. If you don't clean them now, you'll need to replace them. Service is $189. Replacements would be $1,200. Sounds scary, right? But here's the reality. Fuel injectors rarely need professional cleaning unless you've been running terrible gas or your car has over 150,000 miles. And the cleaning service they're selling is usually just running a can of cleaner through your fuel system, something you can do yourself for $15. Real fuel injector problems cause specific symptoms: hard starting, rough idle, misfires, check engine lights. If you're not experiencing these, your injectors are fine. Here's how to protect yourself. Ask what symptoms indicate you need this service. If they can't point to specific problems, you don't need it. Use fuel additives yourself. Buy a bottle of Chevron Techron and add it to your tank every 10,000 miles. Only do it if you have symptoms. Scam number 6. The engine air induction service. This one has a fancy name and an even fancier price tag. Your throttle body and intake manifold have carbon buildup. We recommend our engine air induction service, $299. What they're actually doing? Spraying some throttle body cleaner and charging you 10 times what it's worth. Cleaning your throttle body is legitimate maintenance, especially on direct injection engines, but it's not a $300 job. You can buy a can of throttle body cleaner for $10 and do it yourself in 20 minutes. Or pay an independent mechanic $80 to $120. Here's how to protect yourself. Ask exactly what they're cleaning and how. If it's just spraying cleaner, that's a DIY job. Get a quote from an independent shop. They'll do the same job for a third of the price. Only do it if you have symptoms. Carbon buildup causes rough idle and hesitation. Scam number 7. The tire rotation markup. Acura dealerships charge $40 to $60 for a tire rotation. That's insane for a 15-minute job. But here's the real scam. They often recommend tire rotations every 5,000 miles, which is more frequent than necessary. The standard recommendation is every 5,000 to 7,500 miles. If you drive mostly highway miles, you can easily go 7,500 miles. At $50 per rotation, doing it every 5,000 miles instead of every 7,500 miles costs you an extra $200 over 60,000 miles. Here's how to protect yourself. Learn to rotate your tires yourself. If you have a jack and jack stands, this is easy. Find an independent shop. Many tire shops rotate tires for free. Stick to 7,500-mile intervals unless you're seeing uneven wear. Scam number 8. The coolant exchange markup. Dealerships charge $200 to $300 for coolant flushes. Some charge even more. Here's the truth. A coolant drain and fill costs about $50 in parts and takes 30 minutes. The markup is enormous, and they often push it earlier than necessary. Yes, coolant should be changed every 5 years or 50,000 miles, but if you're at 4 years and 45,000 miles, you don't need it urgently. Here's how to protect yourself. Know your interval. Check your service records. If you're not due yet, don't do it. Ask for a drain and fill, not a flush. It's cheaper and just as effective. Shop around. Independent shops charge $120 to $150 for the same service. Scam number 9. The alignment check. Upsell. You bring your car in for new tires. The advisor says, "We always recommend an alignment check when installing new tires. It's only $149. But you don't always need an alignment when you get new tires. You need an alignment if your car pulls to one side. Your steering wheel is off-center when driving straight. Your tires are wearing unevenly. You've hit a major pothole or curb. If none of these apply, you probably don't need an alignment. Here's how to protect yourself. Ask if they're seeing symptoms. Is my car pulling? Are the tires wearing unevenly? Get a free alignment check first. Many shops offer free checks. Only do it when necessary, after suspension work, after a major impact, or when you have symptoms. How to protect yourself. The ultimate strategy. Here's your game plan. Before the appointment, know what service you actually need based on your mileage and service history. Check your owner's manual for recommended service intervals. At the dealership, be clear about what you want done. I'm here for an oil change only. Please don't perform any additional services without calling me first. When they recommend extra services, ask, what specific symptoms indicate I need this? Request to see any parts they claim need replacement. Never authorize work on the spot. I need to think about it is a complete sentence. After the visit, review the invoice carefully. If something seems wrong, speak up immediately. Keep all service records. The bottom line. I'm not saying all Acura dealerships are scammers. There are good service advisors and honest technicians out there, but the business model incentivizes upselling. Advisors have quotas. Technicians get spiffs for finding extra work. Management pressures everyone to hit revenue targets. That means you need to be informed and vigilant. Know what your car needs. Question recommendations that don't make sense. Get second opinions on expensive repairs. Your Acura is reliable. It doesn't need $2,000 in services every time you bring it in for an oil change. Trust your car. Trust your gut, and don't trust a service advisor who's pushing hard for immediate repairs on a car that's running fine. So there you have it, 9 new scams that Acura service centers are running right now. The complimentary inspection upsell that finds problems that don't exist. The cabin air filter show and tell with someone else's dirty filter. The transmission flush pressure tactic, the brake fluid moisture test with arbitrary failure thresholds, the overpriced fuel injection cleaning, the engine air induction service that's just glorified throttle body cleaning, the frequent tire rotation recommendations, the coolant exchange markup, the alignment checkup cell when you don't have symptoms. Now you know the games. Now you know the questions to ask. And now you know when to walk away. Don't be an easy target. Be an informed customer. And if you want to know exactly what services your Acura actually needs and when, so you never get sold something unnecessary again, I've created a comprehensive 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint for Acura owners. It's the complete service schedule that tells you exactly what to do at every mileage interval. No guessing, no getting upsold, just the facts. Click the link in the description and download it now, because knowledge is your best defense against these scams. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to watch this next video, as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.